The Invest in Her podcast is brought to you in part by Wells Fargo Bank. Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, and more recently, the producer of Show Her the Money. And today, we have on one of the stars of the movie, Show Her the Money, and that would be Jasmine Jones, who is the co-founder of Myya. Please, let's welcome from Washington, D.C., Jasmine Jones. Hi, Jasmine. How are you?
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for having me.
I always love seeing you, Jasmine. You're always full of light and just a pleasure to be with in person or on Zoom.
Catherine, I've loved you since I met you. So every time I have the opportunity to speak with you, it's just such a pleasure.
Thank you. Well, mutual. And after this love fest, I'm going to talk about the amazing, amazing business that you created, because some people haven't seen the film. And if you haven't seen the film, we're going to give you a little background, but you have to see the film because you have to see Jasmine's incredible story. And so let's start with one of the things we don't mention in the film, I don't know why, is that you are a former Miss Washington, D.C. And yeah. I imagine that that was an amazing experience.
It was a life-changing experience to be a title holder, I must admit. I actually met my business partner at an appearance.
Wow.
So I was supporting my makeup artist who was experiencing breast cancer. And at the breast cancer 5K, I met a fantastic surgeon. And we were walking and talking, and we ended up creating our business together a few years later. So I always say, if it hadn't been for the experience of the crown, I don't know if I would have ever started the business. So those skills I learned along the way really helped me in presenting, and the relationships that I built along the way really helped me to become a successful entrepreneur.
And, you know, a lot of the people that maybe haven't seen the film don't know that you have an incredible business that helps breast cancer survivors to have intimate apparel that didn't really exist very much prior to this, and that you actually created this because your grandmother had breast cancer, right?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. I watched my grandmother struggle with the experience of shopping for post-mastectomy bras and prosthesis. And I just remember thinking along that journey that she deserved a better experience. And 20 years later or so, I recognized that experience still hadn't been improved and that I had to be the one to do something. And we came in, we shook up the industry, and it's been incredible ever since. We offer for breast cancer survivors completely customizable and fully insurance-billable breast prosthetics with a state-of-the-art fit experience. So we're the most size-inclusive shopping experience for post-mastectomy survivors, most colorful and color-inclusive experience for breast cancer survivors, and really the most accessible experience for breast cancer survivors across the USA.
Well, and so this all started with, like you said, you getting the crown of Miss Washington, D.C. You end up meeting your business partner, which I had no idea, Dr. Regina Hampton, who is a breast surgeon. Perfect combination of what you bring to the table, what she brought to the table. And that you started as a in-person store, which we actually shot and is in the film, called Cherry Blossom Intimates in Washington, D.C. But now you've moved totally online, which has helped expand and grow your business so that you could reach more people. And then you added the tech component where people can actually try it on online, get fitted online so that they get fitted prior to it being mailed out to them. And then what we learned in the film is that the insurance company typically takes care of the lingerie that you all create and sell. And so that also, I think, was really good for breast cancer survivors that are having these challenges to find out that Myya, spelled Myya, which is your online company with this tech component, really brings to the table as a game-changing aspect to providing wonderful intimate wear for people that are going through this really challenging time.
That's exactly right. We started as a brick and mortar store. We wanted to bring this experience to breast cancer survivors so that they were able to shop with dignity. And we helped over 20,000 customers in our first 5 years. But what we recognized was that there was a huge reach outside of the Washington, D.C. area, that we were getting requests from women all over the country who wanted our products and services. And we recognized we can't build a store everywhere. Leases are so expensive. But what we could do is offer pop-up experiences across the country and offer telehealth fittings for our patients. So at the top of this year, we took a really big leap of faith. It was a huge pivot for our business where we're offering telehealth fittings exclusively and pop-up experiences 12 times a month. So at this point in the year, we've already done a little over 50 pop-up experiences across the USA in partnership with hospital centers where we're able to meet women where they are while still providing them with this excellent care experience. And beyond the fact that we're now in their backyard, these products and services are covered by health insurance plans. So it's by federal law that your bra and breast form are covered by your insurance. So we've made a point to inform our patients about that. And we accept insurance on behalf of our patients, most major health insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. And it's a collection of bras that I designed after completing a program at the Fashion Institute of Technology, and it ended up winning an award at that program that financed the entire collection. So it's really taken off because I recognize that we need more size diversity and more skin tone inclusivity in those two arenas in order to best serve these survivors across the USA. And it's been a dream. Honestly, it hasn't always been easy, as you can see in the documentary. I was raising funds while pregnant, while expecting my baby. I was closing around. I remember literally being on the phone, texting and emailing while in the hospital to schedule meetings after my delivery so that we could close our round and we could raise the funds we needed so that we could grow the company.
It really takes dedication to be an entrepreneur, doesn't it?
You see it in the film, but it is so true. It was harder than anything I've ever done, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, and really that's your two babies, right? You have your beautiful baby Celine, and then you have your beautiful baby Myya, which is your intimates online store. And I wanted to say one thing I wasn't mentioned in the movie too that I was really surprised about is that you have designed the Myya collection and you won awards at the at the Fashion Institute for those designs. And so I knew you had the idea, but I didn't realize you designed them too. That's amazing.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny what I got done during the pandemic, Catherine. I worked so hard in the pandemic, and in the pandemic, I designed that collection.
Wow.
And the competition, there was an in-person experience in New York, and then the competition was held during the time of the pandemic, and then the deadline was like May of 2020. So I spent almost all the time of the pandemic designing the collection, sourcing fabrics, and getting the perfect bras created, and then presenting that to experts in the industry. And I was so fortunate that we won. I was crying on a Zoom call when they announced my name. Yeah, because it was just such a dream come true.
And you know, it's so interesting. The pandemic has been game changing for a lot of people because it gave us that downtime to allow downloads to be doing what we're meant to be doing on the planet. And this is obviously your calling. And what is I wanted to get to some stats. What is the percentage? Like you were saying you had 20,000 customers in the first 5 years, but realized you could reach so many more people online. I know you know those statistics of how many people are affected by breast cancer and needing products like yours around the country. What is that number?
So 1 in every 8 women will be diagnosed in her lifetime.
Wow.
With breast cancer. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic in part, by 2030, they expect that number to double. Because
oh my gosh.
We've put our health on the back burner, and our cancers have progressed a lot faster. Women aren't going to get their mammograms. They're not doing their self-checks. They're focused on other things. So unfortunately, that number is expecting to double in 2030. So knowing that, being a woman, being a mom, I've just completely dedicated my life to making sure that the experiences of these survivors going forward forever is just much improved.
Wow. What an opportunity for someone to be a part of your business. And I want to talk about that. I first want to say we were so fortunate to meet you because of another person in the film, which is Pocket Sun, one of the youngest women to ever start a venture capital fund. And I know the universe put you two together at a Forbes 30 Under 30 event that was held in Israel. And what a blessing that was to both of you to meet. And so you were one of the few women, because we all know only 2% of women right now get funding from venture capital. But you were one of the fortunate that got some funding initially from SoGal Ventures, which is Pocket Sun's fund. What was that like getting that? This is what I imagine, that it boosted your confidence and that it gave you the support that you needed, because it's tough being a solopreneur. And so you kind of need people investing in you to not only provide money, but also support, right?
Yes, absolutely. Wow. I won the SoGal Global Pitch Competition. I won a $100,000 check on stage, which is SoGal's fund. And I just remember being so overcome with joy. I don't know if we talked about it much in the documentary, but when I went off to that pitch competition, I think we had $3,000 in our account. We didn't have much money left.
Wow.
I was pinching pennies looking at the flights and making sure my bag didn't go overweight capacity. Sometimes it gets that hard as a founder. When you're first starting out, for us, it was a time where insurance hadn't begun giving us the payments. So we were doing a lot of work with a lot of receivables. And we were just waiting for the day that the payments were to hit. And I remember when we got that check, it was just so overwhelming. It was actually a wire, but when the money hit, it was just so overwhelming. And I just felt so happy knowing that our business was not only going to survive, but it was going to thrive through the next bunch of challenges. And meeting that day, I believe that God was in that space, that the stars were aligned, whatever it was. There was something bigger than us at that moment for Pocket and I to meet, for her to have that upcoming pitch competition, for me to really give it my all, make it onto that global stage, and then bring home that check. Words can't describe it. It was really, truly life-changing.
And that was just the beginning, because you've gone on to raise over $1 million. I don't know what the stat is.
$2 million at this point.
$2 million. And that's amazing, as you know, Jasmine, because I know prior to 2021, less than 100 Black women had raised even $1 million. So you really are in a special category. But, that is the focus, of course, of Show Her the Money, is to showcase women like yourself who are succeeding and to encourage more women to invest in venture capital, especially in women-founded funds that are getting behind women and people of color and LGBTQ, so that we can move that needle and fund more genius women like yourself that are doing their purpose and giving people an opportunity to invest in impact type of investments that not only can be lucrative, but also leave their legacy and make an impact on the world. And so I think women are all about that. We're very heart-centered, and we want to put our money behind things that make a difference. But if we make money doing it, all the better. And so it's kind of the best of both. So there are many different ways to raise money. I know you are doing a new round because every now and then when you want to grow your company, you have to look at creative ways to raise funding. And so that gives people an opportunity who believe in what you're doing and the importance of it to own a piece of your company. So you're doing is it an equity crowdfunding round or? Yeah,
yes, an
equity crowdfunding round. You could actually own a piece of Myya if this is a topic that's of importance to you and you really care about women having this opportunity to have this dignity, have these intimate apparel, which I remember. I don't know if was it you that said you pitched to some men and they were like, there's Victoria's Secret. What do you need that for? Yeah, it was like, what? This is like a whole different category. But this is the problem with us only being able to get investments from men is men don't always understand the product. Women totally get it. It's why you've gotten funding from women. Hopefully some men will wake up and understand that they have daughters, sisters, wives that may need this apparel and they should get behind you as well. So we are so excited to announce that you have a WeFunder crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding, which means if they participate, they actually get equity in your company. And so let's talk about that. How do people find your campaign?
It's wefunder.com/Myya. It's very easy to find us.
And it's MYYA.
MYYA, yes. And we break down all the reasons as to why this is a global problem. And so often we were encountering, unfortunately, male investors who didn't quite understand this to be a problem. They would ask, well, if she's had a mastectomy, doesn't she just get a boob job? Or why does she need a special bra? Or who, is this market big enough? How many people is this really impacting?
And how did you answer those questions?
I kept such a straight face, Catherine.
Yeah.
I answered so diplomatically, but I explained that this is impacting over 4 million women are currently living with a history of breast cancer. These are statistics, even though I believe it's a bit of an underrepresented figure. I believe that there's even more than 4 million women in the United States living with a history.
Right.
But I said it's 1 in 8. And what I would typically do when I would walk into a room is I would say, raise your hand if you know a breast cancer survivor, and then keep your hand up if you know where she shops for post-mastectomy bras and prosthesis. And typically the whole room would put their hands down. So I said, okay, so that means that the problem is big enough for us to address it. And it's a huge problem. It's a huge white space in the market. At the time, there was nothing at all on the market similar to what we were building and what we were creating and what we had in mind. And really, we're still the first. So I said, you know what? It's time for us to make a change and change the game. But sometimes I have to be honest, if I felt that there was too much headwind in convincing male investors, I would go to investors who understood the problem. And that was typically female investors, typically investors who are interested in impactful investments.
And what was your answer to those men about, well, can't they just go have surgery? What's your answer to that?
Well, unfortunately, first of all, if you've had a history of breast cancer, your bras and prosthetics are covered by your health insurance plan, regardless of the treatment that you choose. So if you choose to have reconstructive surgery, your bras are still covered. Secondly, what I was seeing in the fitting room, and more often than not, reconstructive surgery is not the end all to a woman's journey through breast cancer. Unfortunately, I've seen more reconstructive surgeries fail than I've seen be successful. So these are women who still, despite the fact that they've had one reconstructive surgery, will still now need a breast form for balance, and they'll still need soft post-surgical bras during their recovery experiences.
And also, I imagine that a great majority do not have reconstructive surgery.
Oh, yes. And then that, too.
Yeah.
Yes. 60% of women weren't choosing reconstructive surgery. So this is just so many reasons as to why this made sense.
And they probably don't choose the reconstructive surgery because of cost or just that that's not what they want to do.
Or they don't want another surgery. They're sick of it. At this point, they say, let me move on with my life and find a breast form and soft, comfortable bras and continue on because I don't want to be bothered with this. This isn't,
yeah, they've already been to hell and back. They don't want to do that. Yeah.
Endure another surgery. And so often we also don't talk about reconstruction as a painful surgery. It's not just a boob job. It's a process that includes expanders, where you go into the doctor's office and they inflate a piece of silicone underneath your skin so that your skin won't retract. It's not a glamorous, beautiful Beverly Hills style surgery. It's a very painful experience.
And I'm glad you're explaining this because most men would not understand that and have to realize that their daughters or sisters or wives or friends or they all have mothers, right? If they're going through that, they should understand that this is a worthwhile investment for people to have dignity and have a good experience. And this is an amazing product and service that you're offering. And of course, the cherry on top is that the insurance does cover it. So they go to wefunder.com/Myya, Myya, and they can find the fundraiser and become an equity investor, making an impact. Sure to be, as Pocket Son from SoGal Venture says, you have the opportunity to be $1 billion business. It takes money to buy inventory to grow your business. And I think most people understand that. But if not, that is the reason that people need cash infusion, is to buy more products so that you can reach more people so that you can then grow the business. And that's really the premise of the continued fundraising. And so people have a rare opportunity that you're opening back up funding. You're raising how much? $700,000. I'm sure you will get there. And this will be, by the time we're live, it will be an opportunity that you could jump on and take advantage of today and know that you're making a great investment in an amazing founder with an amazing cause and making an impact on society with your monies. And more than likely a return. So, I'm so happy we got to talk about this today, that there's this opportunity for people to actually be an equity partner in Myya.
Yeah. And you know what? It's really also because of the impact of this documentary. I was getting so many questions of people saying, how can I invest? I'm not a huge institution. What are your check sizes? And it got me thinking, after I heard it probably about 10 times, Catherine, I said, okay, perhaps this is a great opportunity for us to open this up so that women can invest without having to put $100,000, $200,000 into our company, which was really sort of the standard not too long ago. What if people can do it with very small check sizes, $500 at a time, and be part of history? We're
500 or 5,000 or 10,000. Right.
Exactly. Yes. In whatever increment that they feel comfortable, they don't have to be a huge investor, but they can take what they've learned from Show Her the Money. They can invest it into a company directly supported by the film, and then watch their investment grow. So it's more than just watching the documentary. It's about taking the next step to change your life beyond that.
And mentioning the documentary, you are often at our screenings. So many times people come to our screenings, get to meet you in person, which is super fun. I know we were both at the premiere, which was in Philadelphia, and that was just over the top fun because the women were so receptive, the men too, and joyous about there finally being a documentary about venture capital and angel investing. And of course, today we're talking about angel investing, which is when you invest directly into a company, and then venture capital, which is Pocket Son's SoGal Ventures fund that we were talking about earlier that originally funded Myya, which is another opportunity for people to be an angel investor in a fund, and then they become an LP, a limited partner. So lots of opportunities out there. Today, we're really focused on this opportunity, which is Myya. So be sure to also tell your friends about Myya.com if they are a breast cancer survivor and they have the need for this type of intimate apparel. It's Myya.com. Also, people can reach out to you directly, right, Jasmine, on LinkedIn?
Absolutely. Yes, you can find me. If you search Jasmine Jones Myya, I come right up.
Great. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. Jasmine, you're always an amazing guest. I just really applaud the incredible vision that you have, the amazing products that you have. I'm wishing you all the best. And, I'm a big supporter. And I hope we bring in some new supporters today that want to get behind such an amazing woman. Everybody, you can find me also on LinkedIn, Catherine Gray. You can find Jasmine Jones, my amazing guest today. And we hope you'll come also see showherthemoneymovie.com. And then find us on, of course, all of the social media for both Myya and Show Her the Money, as well as my SheAngelInvestors.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to Invest in Her. Make it a great week, everybody. Thank you, Jasmine. Take care.